The M age is incredibly significant. The M age represents a group of customers within a wider group that often people refer to as Generation Y. Generation Y is a broad definition. At Intersperience, we prefer to think about iNatives or digital natives and M ages. These two groups are particularly significant within Generation Y. So for example, digital natives are those people who are born into an internet world. Circa 1997, they've been born into an age where the internet was already there. It was there for them at school. M ages are also actually more significant because they're people who've been born into an age when actually mobiles and the internet as being mobile with them all the time is natural to them. It's there with them all the time. So we've got a Generation Y as a broad category, not particularly helpful when it comes to thinking about technology in the digital age. Within the digital age, we need to think about digital natives and then the M ages. M ages within that represent the future of the internet. That being born into that technology, being native to them, has actually led to completely different behaviours. The way they consume information, the way they communicate, the way they access things is very different to the rest of us. The way they consume information is in a parallel, almost random manner. If you watch people, an M-ager accessing information, it's almost like not just multitasking, but that dipping in, dipping out, accessing a number of different points all at once. To the rest of us, it seems almost random, almost haphazard. The other thing that's significant about them is they don't make a distinction between an online world and the real world. It is the rest of us who are immigrant to this world who actually make a distinction between the fact that there's an online world. We talk about the real world, we talk about an online world. We draw a distinction as though they're two different things. So an M-ager, it's all one. It's all intermeshed together in there. And that in itself is quite significant because it does bring out a different relationship with the internet. By contrast, we're adaptive immigrants. We process information in a much more linear, process, step-by-step manner. We don't tend to access it in a multitasking sort of haphazard or random way. We do one thing at a time, we concentrate on that one thing at a time. So it is a different way of consuming information. For organisations, what's really important is we have to focus on the M ages, but at the same time, we're still actually focusing on the adaptive immigrants. As the population as a whole gets older, we're left with two very different consumer groups. The M ages who are absolutely native and consume information in a very different way, and the adaptive immigrants. Potentially this raises a real challenge for organisations because we're potentially communicating with two very different customers. They're purchasing our products in different ways. We're having to deal with customer services with them in a different way. It brings about a communications gap potentially. Because of this challenge, it's for this reason that actually at Open Ideas on the 26th of May, we'll be exploring the M age and also what comes beyond the M age, what comes next, in a lot more detail to give organisations the opportunity to understand in detail these new consumers and to begin to think through what it means for their future in the digital age.